Hey homeschoolers, I'm Melissa Webb, former full-time classroom teacher and homeschool mom turned full-time business CEO and encourager to homeschool families. I want to give you sound, educational, practical tips, making sure that you're enjoying the family journey that you are on. So if you are looking for a place to be encouraged and inspired, you have found the perfect podcast. Homeschooling is a work of heart is truly the perfect place to start. So welcome. Let's jump in.
Hello and Happy New Year. It's officially 2025. Traditionally, you know what that means, right? It's time to set some New Year resolutions. Of course, or not. I don't know if you know the statistics, but less than 10% of people who make New Year's resolutions actually achieve them. I mean, that's pretty low odds. If I offered you a pain medication, and I said, hey, you have got to try this, it helps less than 10% of the time. Would you even bother taking it? I don't think so. Unless you are in a small, minuscule group of people who set and achieve yearly goals. Let me offer you, yes, that means all the rest of us, something far better to start the new year. Hopefully, you already saw the title. We're going to talk about Word of the Year 2025. I actually think this is a really fun activity for your whole family, and I'm going to encourage you to discover and live into a word of the year. Now, some of you may have done this before, but for some of you, this could be brand new. And I want you to just consider adopting this idea. So stay tuned for all the details. I will tell you that my husband has had a couple of weeks off from work, and he just finished a book that was actually based on Adlerian therapy. Yes, we live a riveting life, don't we? You can just imagine our conversations over coffee. Enthralling, spellbinding. You bet. Okay. Well, anyway, Alfred Adler was one of the grandfathers of psychology. He was a psychoanalyst in the early 1900s who believed in taking one's thoughts captive, more or less. And his theories were all about ownership of our thoughts and releasing the victim mentality that our past experiences may want to drag into our present lives. Now, some people really struggle with that concept, which I understand. Trauma is one of those things that, especially if it happened early on in life, it can feel like a shadow that's constantly following a person. So letting go of that and getting rid of the victim mentality and becoming a victor, that takes work. That is not necessarily an easy accomplishment. He also believed in being present, in focusing on what could be done right here, right now, moving forward with intention and a sense of belonging. Belonging was very important. Community. He believed in community. He believed that everyone should be contributing to one another's lives in positive ways. And from there, great happiness could be achieved. Well, needless to say, I really can get behind this guy and his philosophy because I'm all about taking our thoughts captive. And even though negative thoughts are going to come into our heads because we're human, to pay attention and consider whether or not it's something that's serving us is a really powerful practice. And it's something I certainly encourage. And so it was during one of our stimulating discussions over coffee this week with my husband that I discovered my word of the year. Now, I let go of New Year resolutions years ago, and I started choosing this word of the year, or I should say, I started letting a word choose me. And I've had several. I can share those with you if that's anything you may find interesting or motivating. But here's what I can tell you. Year-long goals, I've tried those. They don't work for me. I'm that less than 10%. I have discovered that I succeed best with 90-day goals. 30 days are too short. 90 days are perfect. And it works well. I run a business, so I'm always setting quarterly goals. So I have quarterly business goals and I have quarterly personal goals. And having a word of the year actually gives me great direction for setting those goals. The other thing that I've noticed is, while I do love family traditions, I am so for family traditions. I'm a real stickler for that. New Year resolutions, which are also considered a tradition for many, it always felt forced. And that I do not like. I do not like feeling forced to do things. So there's this fine line, this balance. So when I would let a word find me every year, it felt much more fun and exciting. I also believe that focusing on a word of the year, it does feel freeing. I don't have to go for it. It comes for me and then it guides me and my goal setting moving forward. So right now, if you're like, okay, I'm curious, I just want to ask you to consider a few things. Do you think that one word could have a big impact on your family this year? Because I do. I really think one word could be very impactful. And I will say that determining the word of the year, it can be done as an individual goal setting task, but you could simplify it, especially if this is your first year adopting this idea. Have just one word for your whole family. It will create positive change and it will motivate you as a family. It's fun and it's an intentional way to inspire growth in your home and with your children. So, why not teach your children how to become goal setters, which is actually good, but do it in a way that's stress free and far more creative? That's what I think the word of the year will offer. So, if you're ready, you ready to go from chaos to clarity this year? Let's do it. I have the secret to setting a family vision for you. We're going to choose a word of the year. I will tell you the top 3 things that you will achieve in 2025, all because your family chose a word of the year. Yes, I've written these down. I'm actually thinking I may create a Teachers Pay Teachers product, like a hands-on family activity package that would be more of a step-by-step with even maybe some video instruction on how to do just this. What do you think? Would you buy it? Yes, my brain is very active right now. Like, that might be something. Okay. But these are the 3 things that you will achieve. The word of the year is going to provide goal clarity. That's the first thing I have written down here. Okay. Goal clarity. Now that's great because that gives purpose. And that's backed by research. Having purpose and goal clarity by having this single word intention, it will simplify the priorities that you decide as a family. It will simplify the focus. It will guide your decisions. So, for example, if your child decides to pick a word and picks the word friends, that's the word your child wants for 2025, friends. Then every month, you will brainstorm ways to interact with friends, maybe current friends that your child has, or maybe ways to meet some new friends. You see how that could define some clear goals? Absolutely. You might say, oh, why don't we join a Taekwondo class? That would be a great way for you to meet new friends. It gives goal clarity. The second thing that you'll achieve with a word of the year is improved family communication. Who doesn't want that? That's the second thing I have here. Improve family communication. Now, this is especially true when you share your word of the year with everybody in the family. You're going to foster some collaboration and discussion and dialogue. You're going to allow you as a family, but also maybe each child, to align the goals and the values. That's going to enhance even that family bonding time. So if, for example, you decide as a family that your word is going to be togetherness, you're going to have to sit and communicate ways to discover how each person even defines what that means. This is really going to open up some great discussion. You could find out, for example, that for one child, togetherness means, oh, every Friday night, we'll all sit together. We're going to watch a movie. We're going to eat some popcorn. But to another child, togetherness means, oh, once a month, each of us should get one on one time with mommy or daddy. And it's just going to be this one on one parent child activity that stirs up the feeling of togetherness to somebody else. So opening up that family communication and improving that, huge benefit. The third thing I wrote down that you'll achieve by having a word of the year is that it is going to offer you a way to share achievements with one another. Since you're going to need to reflect either on a weekly or a monthly basis and check in with everybody on the chosen word, you are going to share what's been working. So again, I imagine maybe you have a kiddo who has chosen the word fearless for 2025 because maybe that child wants to overcome shyness or maybe anxiety. Then when you have these conversations and they are sharing what they did, however big or small it may be, that is a celebration that you and your family are going to get to experience together, a shared achievement that is never going to be forgotten. So, just to recap, there are these great achievements and benefits that come from having a word of the year. It's going to give you one, goal clarity, two, improved family communication, and three, a way to share some achievement. I hope you're in. Are you in? Awesome. Let's get started. Okay, the first thing I want to tell you is to keep it simple. Please, please, please remember, you cannot get this wrong. If this is already feeling like pressure, take a deep breath, breathe in, let it out. This should not feel like pressure. You can tweak this in any way, shape, or form that you need. You can even change your mind if you pick a word and then you decide you don't want it, not a problem. Maybe you're like, I just can't even think of a word right now. That's fine. Take your time and change it if you need to change it. You guys could come up with adopting a word of the month or a word of the week, even. Maybe you have one child who's like, can I have a new word every week? Why not? Try it. See if you like it. Maybe you can have even more than one word for the family. Maybe you have two words, maybe you have three words. What? And if you need to change your word mid-year, mid-month, it's fine. You cannot get this wrong. What is the point? The point is to pick a word to give goal clarity, improve your family communication, and share some achievements together. That's it. So keep it light and fun. Okay? Okay. Next, we're going to actually do some activity. Remember, there's a big difference. I did a podcast on the difference between passive learning and massive learning. Passive is what you're doing right now. You're listening while maybe you're folding some laundry or taking a walk with me. That's great. But this is passive. It's valuable because your brain is getting lots of ideas. But it's pretty pointless if it doesn't turn into massive action, that you actually do something. So this weekend, you need to grab a piece of paper to brainstorm some words. Or you can download a list of words that's already created for you. I will provide a link in the show notes. I know there are some handouts that have hundreds of words. And if that's helpful for you, I will do that. But you could also Google it or check Pinterest for word lists. I mean, I'm sure you could just do word of the year and tons are going to come up. Just to get some ideas in your brain, because I know I like that too. Here are a handful. I don't know. I wrote down 10, 12. Quality time, intention, fearless. I mentioned that one. Worthy, friends, togetherness. I mentioned those. Challenge. I like that one. Value, more, fun, luxurious. Okay, those are just some. There are so many out there. Get a list going. Just get those wheels moving and turning. Then you're going to get the family all together. This could be over a meal. Maybe you do a family meeting. Great. You're just going to talk about this idea of a word of the year. Like, what has already appealed to you from what I've already shared in this podcast? Share that with your family. Like, maybe right now you're like, I was listening and all of a sudden I felt motivated. Or maybe you're thinking, we need a positive change. Maybe it's personal, or maybe it's as a family unit. Most of us humans, we always want positive change in our lives. So that's a great one. Or maybe it's because it is a new year and this offers a new idea, maybe a creative perspective. Share any of that. Explain what the purpose is, right? It's going to offer guidance and focus and that clarity of a goal. It's going to help you grow and bond as a family and share some great successes throughout the year. But you want to explain that you're doing away with any of those daunting New Year resolutions and you're adopting a lighter, more motivating way to have great success in the new year. This motivating word is going to guide the activities that your family chooses in 2025. Now, after that discussion and some brainstorming and some word consideration, stop. Just stop. That's all you have to do in that setting. You can, of course, see, does anybody already have a word that's coming to them? Do several of you have the same word speaking to you? That's pretty significant. But if people aren't feeling it or they're looking at you glassy eyed, just explain that over the next week, you want everyone to think about this. Think about words. Pay attention every day to any word that may come to your mind. Let your word choose you. You could pray about it. You could pull words from scriptures. Just have that conversation. And in this first family meeting, be okay with the fact that you may not pick the word. Again, if it's starting to feel stressful, it's not the right way to do it. It should be fun and light. Now, I have been living into a word of the year for years now, and I've had several of them. One year I had the word fun. I just wanted anything that I was doing, I wanted to find a way to make it fun. So I had started a business and I was feeling very stressed that year. I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing? I am a classroom teacher. I'm not an entrepreneur. This feels daunting and stressful. And so my word was fun. And I would find ways to make things more fun for me. The next year, my word was believe. I just wanted to believe. I wanted to believe in me. I wanted to believe in what was possible. I just had all kinds of meanings around the word. One year was focus. One year was value. I wanted to get value, but I wanted to give value. Um, Last year, my word was more. And that turned out to be such a beautiful word for me. I wanted more. I wanted more love. I wanted more joy. I wanted more. And I really wanted to work on that because I feel like in our society, that is a word that's considered a greedy word. Like, oh, what, you don't have enough? You always need more? And I really wanted to, just within myself, I wanted to find a place where more and abundance wasn't a bad or negative word. It wasn't a greedy word. It was actually a beautiful word because what I wanted was more of what was so good. And what I didn't know would happen, and I just love that it happened this way for me, is that what I ended up getting was more time. I actually did less work. I put a lot of days and weeks within my business on the back burner because my mother-in-law was on hospice, and I was able to make more time to be with my family, and specifically with her in her last few months of life. It was definitely a year of more. And again, I didn't go in with expectations of what that would look like. I just lived into the word, and every week or a couple of weeks or month, I would look for ways that it was showing up and ways that it could direct my next actions. This year, my word just found me. It actually came from a day and time that I was talking with my husband about this Adlerian psychology book, but it found me again. And this year, my word is contribute. And I am living into it right now. As I was thinking about it, I'm like, I'm actually contributing my knowledge and my experience with this whole word of the year idea. So I am contributing already. Look at that. It's brand new and I'm already doing it. Now, once you have your word, you're going to have another family meeting, whether that's a month, whether it's a day, whatever, a week, you get to decide. But once you have your word, you want to sit down and write down all the things that this word means to you or to the family. Because here's the truth, one word can have so many meanings and different meanings to different people. So it does matter. Write down all the things your word means to you or to the family. So I did this. When I think of the word contribute, the reason why it spoke to me out of this book is because it was talking about this deliberate purposefulness where we would give to community in a way that makes life more beautiful, for myself, of course, but for others. That part's really important. Things I want to contribute. Contribute to me means creating curriculum. I create writing courses. I create a community and I contribute to that community of homeschoolers. I produce meaningful, useful materials and courses and workshops. So that has meaning to me. Contribute also, I connect with the word like to donate or donation, giving money or offering supplies to people who need them. Maybe donating to a good cause or organization, maybe to an individual in need. I can contribute to somebody's life by donating something. I also can contribute my time. I'm going to be contributing time to my business. Specifically, I'm going to be contributing some time to learning about advertising. So I need to put some time into that. I'm going to contribute time into my friendships and my family. Also to golf. Greg and I are going to start golfing again. We golfed 30 years ago, then got busy raising family. And now we're going to go back to golf. So I'm going to contribute some time to taking lessons. I also came up with contribute to me means to give emotional support. I can contribute emotional support by listening to anybody who needs a shoulder to cry on or an ear to listen. I can be emotionally supported by offering up some encouragement, just being present. I also can contribute positive energy everywhere I go. I really try to do that. I believe that putting in that effort inspires and motivates other people. So I'm going to contribute lots of positive energy this year. And the other thing that I came up with and that I wrote down is I want to contribute to our family legacy. I have someone in my family who's really big into genealogy, and she and I have worked on some projects together. And I have said I really want to contribute to that project specifically from the web side of the family. So that's another thing that I want to contribute to. Do you get the idea? So take the time to write down what the word means to each person. You will also want to keep your word somewhere that you're going to see it every day. So if you have a family word, why not have the kids make a family poster, put it up in the kitchen or somewhere where everybody's going to see it, maybe in your homeschool room. You even could just write the word on sticky notes, put them in different places. They could be in the bathrooms, like right over the sink where everybody's going to see it when they're brushing their teeth. But here's the thing, if it's not visual, especially if you're not in the habit of having a word of the year, it is likely that you will forget it. So keep it somewhere where you see it. And you may even want to create a visual image to go with it. I went to Canva. I love Canva for creating things. And they have a lot of element images. You could either do photos. I like to do graphics. I have this open palmed hand and the word contribute sitting in that hand because I'm seeing it as a way that I'm giving outward, from me outward. And I have it printed off and I have it taped on the front of my planner, which I close at the end of each day and come to in the morning. When I open my planner, I'm going to see it there on the front. So I'll see it each day. So just be top of mind. That's what you want to do. The point is to have fun with it, get creative, and apply it and see if it is something that works for you. Now, it's very important. The last thing I want to mention is that you do want to meet regularly with your family. This could be on a weekly basis, a monthly basis, totally up to you. But when you have your family meeting, you're going to grab that piece of paper, or maybe you do all of this in a journal. I think that'd be kind of a fun journal to keep, our 2025 Word of the Year journal. Because if you do this on a regular basis, it'd be fun to look back at the end of the year just to see where that word took you. So you open up to a fresh page, you're going to make 2 columns. And on the left side, you can write down the ways people lived into the word of the year in that last week or that last month. And again, that's where you're sharing some achievement, having some aha moments, bonding. It's really special. And then on the right side, you're going to brainstorm a handful of ways everyone can live into their word or the family word in the next week or month. And again, allow for change. If somebody says this word isn't inspiring me or isn't working for me, it's probably not your word. So keep searching. If a new word comes to you at any point, it's absolutely okay to choose it then and there. For me, I suppose I could write down this podcast episode. It's the first way that I've lived in to contribute for this new year. But I have already listed a couple of other ideas moving forward. I want to create an outstanding test prep course that's going to ease test anxiety for children and increase their test scores. I also am going to contribute to my business by finishing up our spring semester courses. Personally, I want to contribute to my family by doing some meal planning and having those healthy meals already set in the refrigerator for my on-the-go family, specifically Greg and Derek, who will need food to take to work for lunches. That's going to also contribute to my own health goals. So that's the other thing that I'm going to be just doing in the next week. And then again, I like to plan every week what I'm doing. So I do this on a weekly basis. Like I said, I don't want that to feel overwhelming to you. Maybe try this first on a monthly basis and see how it goes. I wouldn't do it in a longer period of time than that because it will just be forgotten. So start with either weekly or monthly, and certainly let me know how this goes. Okay. All right, there you have it. I am so curious. How are you going to apply this to your life or with your family? And for some of you, you may say, I'm not ready to share it with my family yet. I just want to do it for me. That's great. I hope you do. I hope you give it a try in whatever way this is speaking to you. The truth is this: the benefits are substantial. They are, I promise you. And I would love to hear what you do with it. So be sure to follow me at writeonweb.com. Check the show notes for any links that are going to help you move this passive idea into some massive action. And keep in touch. I'd really love to know where this goes. Until next time, right on.
Well, thanks so much for tuning in and listening this week. Hey, if this was something that you found valuable, don't forget you want to subscribe or follow so that every time a new episode is dropped, you'll be the first to know. And hey, before you go, if you are looking to get some of this academic writing under your belt and outsourced so that it's one less thing, freeing you up to enjoy more time with your family, hey, you're going to want to head over to writeonweb.com to see what kinds of resources and materials I have available for you. I will look forward to seeing you there, and I will look forward to seeing you here in our next episode. Right on.